Good morning, everybody. Oops, looks like I got a low network connection. Looks like I have a low network connection. Not exactly sure what that is, and not so sure if this is going to show up or not, but we're going to try. Anyway, welcome to another installment of Coffee, Cosmetics, and Contemplation. So, is there anybody out there? Let's start with that. Anybody out there? If not, that's okay too, because once again, like I said, I can talk to myself and I have no problem doing that at all. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Mick, how are you? Okay, guys, so what's on your mind? I'm dying of curiosity here. I would love to just find out what's going on and, sit here and put my makeup on at the same exact time. So, anything going on out there that is like major? Amanda, how are things going on in West Virginia? In case y'all don't know, that I lived there for quite some time. Hi, Heidi. Like my hair? So, what's going on in West Virginia? I'm dying of curiosity. Not too bad, just healing up. Oh, honey, I'm so glad, though, that you are finally out of surgery and everything. And I've been praying for you. I have absolutely been praying for you. So, I'm glad to know that you're getting better. Is it cold? Yeah, it's cold here today, too. I think we got a high of like 45 today. Yesterday, it was like 78. You're welcome. You're welcome, honey. And like I said, you're always in my prayers and you're always in my thoughts. In case y'all don't know, Amanda is a very good friend of mine, and she is also the mom of my nephew. So, I'm trying to play with this thing here to get the right light. That work? That looks better. Okay, guys. So, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm going to tell you anyway. In 8 days, I'm going to be turning 49. Sorry about that. In 8 days, I'm turning 49 years old. So, I just, I got 1986 hits playing in the background and everything, and, doing a little bit of reminiscing, and reminiscing isn't bad. It's a pretty good thing sometimes. 25 degrees, huh? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I kind of miss the cold. Okay, guys, this is the mattifying primer, so I just want to let you guys know exactly what I'm doing step by step here. It's the sheer primer, and the thing feels so incredibly light and silky. It's awesome. And you don't take much at all. Got bad weather up that way, Amanda? I've been watching y'all been getting some serious snow. How you doing today, Heidi? This is going to be a quick makeup job because I have got so much to do today. It's not even funny. It snowed yesterday? I miss snow. God, I miss snow so much. I don't miss shoveling it though. Once again, this is the foundation, and I love it. Oh, I really miss it. I do. People think I'm crazy for missing snow, but yeah, I love it. You really want to trade me? Are you serious? I might trade you for 2 weeks. But I'm not going to give it all up. All right, 2 weeks it is, and that's it. I'm not going to do it any more than 2 weeks. It's a deal, huh? Okay, great. Okay, y'all, now I got my foundation on. I am going directly to my under eye concealer, which is the blue concealer. It's yellow, so it hides these wonderful, nasty blue marks underneath my eyes, which come from not sleeping enough because Bindi is once again taking up my bed. So what else is going on out there, guys? Anything happening? If not, I'm going to start a discussion on homeschooling. I saw this really interesting article today that the state of California is going to try and pass a bill saying that homeschooling is now considered child abuse. Isn't that lovely? So good things that we do for our kids now be considered child abuse. Yeah. So, what do you think about that out there? I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but I homeschool both my boys. Hey, Shaylee. Ah, that's my niece, Shaylee. It is, isn't it? It's insane. But that is exactly what they're saying now, is that it is considered child abuse. Because evidently, if we don't put our kids in public school and, have them yelled at, ridiculed, and all the other stuff like it happened to my son, it's evidently, a bad thing. Hi! But like I said, I homeschooled both of my boys, and I think they did pretty well. Believe it or not, they actually know how to boil an egg. I don't know if you saw that on my Facebook page or not, but it seems like an awful lot of kids out there that are just now in school don't even know how to boil an egg. I don't understand that. I was boiling eggs when I was 5. Nobody seems to remember the days of vocation school and, those classes like home ec and shop. And I know you remember it, guys. I know for a fact y'all do, because you're all old enough to know that. That sounds good to me. Coffee is awesome, isn't it? It's like the elixir of life. Hold on one second. This song sucks. Alexa, next song. Yes, I have an Alexa. Yes, I am lazy. And if you don't have an Alexa, you need an Alexa. Yeah, I just said her name several times. She's freaking out over there. And there she goes, freaking out again. So that was the eyeliner, really quick, down and dirty, just a little bit, and a little dabble do ya, just like everything that we have, a little dabble do ya. So anyway, this wonderful thing about how if you homeschool your kid, then you are being a very irresponsible person, and you're not you're a bad person if you do that. Well, and I guess I'm a bad person. Because my kids grew up with manners. They grew up knowing how to boil an egg. They grew up knowing how to cook. My sons, man, they kick ass. They do. Anthony makes this fried chicken that is absolutely to die for. And Patrick makes these raw fries. And y'all West Virginians, raw fries are basically potato chips that have not been cooked as crispy. But they're phenomenal. And Patrick makes some amazing raw fries. He really does. But back to what I was saying. By the way, this is Barely There Illuminating Blush. So I'm sorry if I'm going quickly here, but time is of the essence. So anyway, this whole thing, I've got a lot of friends out there who are school teachers. I mean, even my mom. Y'all remember her? She was a school teacher for many, many years, retired as a teacher. And even she, which I thought was a surprising thing, even she thought it was a great idea for me to homeschool Anthony. Anthony is my youngest son, and he's a type 1 diabetic, and he also has Asperger's. And if you don't know what that is, if you're not paying attention to the news, it's a very high-functioning autism. So he doesn't get a lot of things. You can tell him something and, he doesn't quite understand the inflection. So if you say something with your voice, he has a hard time catching that. If you say anything like, time flies, he's looking out the window for the clock. So, and that doesn't make anything bad. Matter of fact, it's a pretty amazing thing, because when he was 15 years old, no, I'll take that all the way back. When he was 7 years old, he started getting involved with medical. Everything was medical. He loved medical. And as a matter of fact, his screensaver, and yes, he was that young with a screensaver, he's always loved computers, was cancer cells. He wanted to find a cure for cancer. And, thought that was pretty awesome. But that is what Asperger's kids do. They are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. In a terrifying kind of way. Hey, Drew. How are you? Ah, Leah! Hey! My friend Leah, she is an absolute amazing artist. I mean, an amazing artist. Is that how Taryn is? Yeah. It runs in the family. Sorry. Taryn is my nephew. Shaylee's brother. Yeah, it's not an easy life. It really isn't. And we've had some ups and downs with that. But one of the biggest things that we had a problem with public school. And if you ever wanted to, do a web search for Gretchen and Anthony Herrera and look up Google, my God, it's a heartbreaking story. He has been ridiculed his entire life in classes and schools. Kids don't understand it. So, of course, what children do when they don't understand something, I make fun of it. And they hurt. But, that was then. This is now. And I do believe that, he's done much better. Ryan is similar. Yeah. Yeah. It runs in the family. And, I have a touch of Asperger's. Not a lot of people knew that. But back then, nobody knew what it was. So nobody knew about bipolar or Asperger's. All they knew was ADD. And ADD kids cannot be controlled by, well, not ADD kids. Autistic children cannot be controlled by ADHD medication. They need therapy, occupational therapy, sometimes even speech therapy. But, it ends. It does end. They do get better. Things do happen. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't happen as fast as you want it to. But it does. It does happen. It takes, and I'm not saying this because it's me. By the way, this is the supernatural nude. Isn't that pretty? I'm not usually a supernatural nude kind of girl, but we're going to give it a shot here. Remember what I told you before? Always use your lightest there. You can use it as a primer if you like. And just put the whole thing all over the eyelid. Where was I at? Oh, yeah. It changes. When he was younger, it was very difficult because he was only 10 years old when he was a type 1 diabetic, when he was discovered as one. And if you put autistic with type 1 diabetes, it is a recipe for disaster. They don't understand. They don't understand why it is the way it is. They don't understand why they feel the way that they do. And they surely don't understand the pricking of their finger. So it was difficult. They still don't. He has gotten diagnosed with bipolar and ADHD, and neither medicine types have helped just make him mean. Yeah, yep, that's absolutely true, too. For those of you out there that have children that have bipolar, I fully believe that they should, that a medication will help us. Because if I didn't take my medicine, y'all, I'm serious, I would be jumping up and down all over the world. There's like no filter. So everything that you think comes out of your mouth. And sometimes that's really not a good idea. Hey, Sherry, how are you? How you doing, honey? Yeah, bipolar is not an easy thing. It really isn't. The medications do make you mean. It's, I hate to say it, but that whole thing about it being a, medical practice is true. Because they have to practice constantly. The doctors don't always know exactly what to give our kids. And Anthony went through an awful lot with that. He went through a great deal of medications before they finally got it right. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that happened, but, life does happen. I can honestly say now that he is a lot better. He takes medication on the regular, as he should. And he is brilliant with computers. So I think that I'm going to be very well taken care of in my old age. I think my kids will take care of me. Either that or they're going to stick me in a home, but I hope it's a good home. And like my husband says, he wants to make sure that it's a home that's got a really hot nurse. Yes, so do I. I want one that's got a real hot male nurse and give me sponge baths all day long. But anyway, about bipolarity. I was diagnosed when I was 15 years old, but they called it manic depression back then. And they would give you nothing but a bunch of drugs and say, here, take this, this is going to help. Well, it doesn't. It didn't. Then when I got older, they decided that I was depressed. So I got antidepressants in the form of Prozac. And I hate to tell y'all, but if you give a bipolar person Prozac, bad things happen. And it was fun for me. I got kicked out of Burger King because I was sliding down the slides with my kids. Yeah, they told me get out. Had a great time though. I really enjoyed myself. And that's the crux of bipolarity. Like I said, you don't have any kind of a filter, which is unfortunate, because people don't understand you. They just don't understand what's going on. And when I was a lot younger, I would say probably around 18, 19, I started doing some pretty off-the-wall shit. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to say that. I started doing some pretty off-the-wall stuff. I went to Washington, D.C. with a friend of mine who invited me to Senator Rockefeller's house for Christmas. And some of you know the story and some of you don't. But those of you that don't, we got invited, my friend and I got invited to Senator Rockefeller's house for Christmas. And everybody was being really serious about it. Like, nice to meet you, Senator Rockefeller, blah, 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 blah. Here I am, swinging round and round on the pillars outside of his big mansion, singing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." I also got kicked out of the reflecting pool because I was waiting in there trying to find change. So it's definitely an interesting thing. And when you know people who have bipolar, they're a lot of fun, but there's also the downside. And when you crash hard. You have this elation that happens, and you are, you feel like you can conquer the world. You don't need sleep. You've got 15,000 things going on at once, and you don't finish anything at all. But you feel like you are invincible. It's called, they call it elation, and things of that. Oh no, grandiose. It's grandiose. That's it. And you feel like you can take on the world. Problem is, when you're up here, eventually you got to go down here. And for bipolar people, we don't have any in between. There's either really high up here or you hit really low. And when you hit really low, it is bad. It is very, very bad. A little TMI here, but before I had my medication, I got incredibly, incredibly depressed. I know that, when my mom passed away, I hit a wall. Guys, I hit a major wall. And I credit being able to survive, and I am going to use those words, to survive with my family and my medication. And one went into the hands of the other. I did not do well. I told you guys this the last time around. I did not do well. But I didn't sink. And there are a lot of people that when they lose somebody as special as a parent, they sink. And sometimes you can't get them back up again. And I was blessed with having family that loves me, watches over me, and they were afraid that I was going to sink. So they were always on my butt 24/7 trying to make sure I was okay. And I look back at it now, and I'm very grateful that they did, but at the time I just wanted them to leave me alone. Mascara! This is the Max Mascara, and yes, I am doing this and telling stories at the same time. But it's a very, very scary thing, having bipolar. And I know a lot of people who have who aren't here anymore because it just took them. It just took them. Because when you hit the low spot, you're low, so low. You can't think. All you want is out. And unfortunately, there are a lot of my friends who took the easy way out. And I am sorry that that happened. I really am. But this is the warning for those out there who are bipolar. You need to take your medication. You've got to stay on top of that. Decline. Okay. If you don't take your medicine, things can happen. And they're not things that you want to happen. And unfortunately, my kids are bipolar. And I was talking about Anthony before I got on this long tangent. Well, when you put a child who is bipolar, type 1 diabetic, and Asperger's into a school situation, it's not good at all. It really isn't. Teachers these days, they don't understand what bipolar really is. They're starting to learn now, and they sure don't understand the difference between Asperger's and regular autism, which I hate to say regular autism because, it's not regular, anything and everything. If you meet an autistic child, then you've met one autistic child. Everybody is different. But they don't understand that there are different variances. And unfortunately, they treat everybody the same way. And when everybody gets treated the same way, how can you treat one child the same way as you would treat another child? Because everybody, including our children, they're all individuals, every one of them. And you can't possibly think that this is going to work for this person and this is going to work for that person, because it's not like that anymore. These days, we're a lot more aware of what's going on. We weren't very aware when I was a kid. Like I said, there was no such thing as bipolar, there was no such thing as Asperger's, no such thing as autism. It was just ADD, and that's all it was. And a lot of people slipped through the cracks because of that. And I was actually one of them who did. Everything was just horrible. It was just horrible. I hated being a teenager. It was like the worst thing in the whole wide world. But I grew out of that. And I feel pretty damn good about myself now. I've got a great family. One of the biggest things that I credit is the fact that round about the time I was in my 20s, I found God. And yeah, this is going to be one of those things. Without God in my life, seriously, without God in my life, I don't think I'd be here today. I really don't. There was a time when, I was into all of the things that nobody should ever be into. And I was at the lowest point I could possibly be. I even stood up and denounced my religion. I was really at my lowest. And one day I looked in the mirror and realized I didn't like who I was anymore. I did not like the person that was staring back at me. So I made a change. And the change that I made was I got on my knees and I said, God, I am so lost. I don't know where to go with this. I need you in my life. I know what I have done. I am so sorry for it. And if you ask for forgiveness, you really ask for forgiveness, you're given forgiveness. God loves all of us. It doesn't matter what color you are, what religion you are, what sexuality you are, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you live and you breathe, and you are a true child of God. Everybody that's here on this earth, no matter if you think you need it or don't, God is still watching over you. It doesn't matter. So anyway, long story short, because, well, that's a little too late now because I've gone through everything. But I found God. And when that happened, I did a lot to try and, open everybody's eyes and, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Well, I found out you can only save yourself. You can give the word. You can say everything in the world you want to say. But you can't save anyone but yourself. And, that's kind of a sad thing in a way, because, you see these people and you just want to help so much. And every good turn that you do, I promise you, I swear to you, every good turn you do will come back to you. And it will come back to you tenfold. It doesn't matter if you hold a door open for someone, if you say thank you, if you just give a smile, it all comes back to you tenfold. Now, it doesn't take much when you're walking on the street to see somebody and smile at them. Just, you don't even have to speak. All you got to do is just smile. And I will bet you that that person is going to have a better day. Just maybe that person was contemplating horrible, horrible things in their head, but you smiled at them. You gave them that moment of hope. And that moment of hope matters more than anything in this world. Because what is it we all need in this world? We need hope. We need belief. You gotta believe, you've got to believe that everything in this world happens for a reason, and it truly, truly does. You may not understand it right now. God, you may never even understand it at all, but it does. It happens for a reason. So everything that you do, that smile that you've given, you might have just stopped something terrible from happening in that person's life. Or you may have made them want to go out and do for another person. And maybe that smile that you gave becomes contagious. And the next person, and the next person, and the next person. And everybody by that time is in a better mood. Isn't that worth it? Well, anyway, I'm sitting here yapping. Is there anything out there, anything at all, that y'all want to talk about? Anything you want to say? Anything? So I'm going to do this right now, and I can't talk at that time, but let me know if there's anything you guys want to say. We can talk about anything. We can talk about autism. We can talk about diabetics. We can talk about school. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. Nobody wants to talk. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. But anyway, I'm going to put my lipstick on here. My last thing here is going to be my Ready or Not Red. And after that, I am going to say goodbye to you good people until tomorrow. And give some thought, y'all. Give some thought to things that you might want to talk about. We can just sit here and chat like old friends. We can just sit here and not ready. I like this color a lot. It's another one of those high shine colors, and this one's called Ready or Not Red. And I like it a lot. But anyway, we can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. And we can even talk about homeschooling. It doesn't matter. No, I'm here to sit here and chat with. And, everybody out there, we are so far away. But, y'all are in my thoughts. You really are. I do stalk y'all's Facebook pages. I do. I will admit it. Just to see how you guys are doing. Everybody that I know, all my friends, even the people that are just acquaintances. Somebody, everybody has made an impact in my life. And for that, they're always in my thoughts. And I watch and I pray for everybody every day. I always want people to have the best that they possibly can. And y'all, I'm telling you, all you got to do is just open your heart, open your mind. Thank God for all the things that you have in this world, because you know what? You have a lot. You may not think you do, but as long as you're breathing, as long as you see the next sunrise, you've got hope. So anyway, this has been me being incredibly deep, strange but true. And I'm hoping that y'all can come up with some ideas and some things that we can talk about tomorrow. Because, I've always got my coffee. And no, there is no Bailey's in it. This is just simply a Bailey's cup. I promise you, I don't have Bailey's in it. I might tomorrow, though. Y'all have a wonderful day. And I hope everything goes well for you. And, those of you out there that are suffering from whether it be a pain, whether it be something going on in your life, please know that you're not alone. You're never going to be alone. Okay? Y'all have a wonderful day, and I am out of here. See you tomorrow. If I can hit the finish button. I'm having a hard time hitting my finish button.